Guys, take a look at this. Like, look. Look at this. This is ice. This is ice. Today was supposed to be 65 degrees. 65. I had plans on going fishing. It's been icing all day of the day. But that's what Oklahoma gets you. One day you get like in the 70s, and then the next day is literally like 29. Like, yo, what's up, guys? It's RJ Fishing here again. And like you just saw, it is cold. I mean, let's see. It is 29 degrees outside. 29. The weather yesterday said it was supposed to be 65. I had plans on going to a lake that I've never been to, and I was gonna go fishing. I was gonna go see what we could catch. But you know how the weather goes. The weatherman says one thing, normally not true. But anyways, guys, so my ideas for the video today was showing you guys my rod arsenal, and then I got a Lucky Tackle box the other day, and I'm thinking about unboxing that. So I'll probably make that in 2 separate videos today. So I'll probably make 2 videos today. So we'll go from that. But I think I want to start with the rod arsenal, because I don't know what else to do for a video since my fishing plans got canceled. So all those rods back there, all my bass rods and stuff back there, I'm gonna show you guys those today. So I hope you guys like these things. So I'm gonna start off with a couple basically the rods I really started fishing hard with. I've been fishing since I was as far as I remember, but I had these 2 rods, are really cheap rods. I mean, I think they're like $30 at Walmart. And I've put them through so much. I've caught 5-pounders with these rods without breaking them up. So really cheap rods for a really good price. Like really good rods for a really cheap price, I should say. The reels on them are actually Bass Pro Shop Extreme reels, and I kind of like the Bass Pro Shop Extreme reels. They've held up for me for a long time. This here is a 7-foot medium heavy casting rod. I've got it paired with a Bass Pro Shop Extreme reel. This is like the Extreme reel is this one here is one of the, I believe, the first series out that they had. I don't remember. I've got a newer one over there that you guys will see in a bit. But I've had this reel probably for at least 8 years. 8 years, and I still love it. Yeah, this is actually a Berkley lightning rod, and I've had this rod for a long time. Both of these rods I'm about to show you, I've had these for a long time. I had the bait, I had a spook tied on. The weather was getting warm, and I was ready today. But anyways, yeah, this is one of the rods, and then I believe this reel here is my 7-to-1 gear ratio reel. It's a fast speed reel. Now the next rod I have is the same setup, but the real speed I believe is a 5-to-1. It's a slower gear ratio, and I got that paired with just a big old Texas rig. But I've had these rods and reels for years. Even before I graduated high school, I think I had them in middle school. I've had them for that long, and they're really good rod and reels for a really cheap price. If you really want to start off with a really good rod, go to Walmart, pick you up one of these Berkley shock rods, and then even the reels at Walmart, I have one of those, like the Abu Garcia Black Mat. That's a really good reel as well, and just get you a couple of like that, this rod with that reel, and you'll be set up for a very long time on fishing. And next up on the rod and reel arsenal, a couple spinning rods of mine. I don't fish spinning rods all that often. I'm more of a power fisherman. I hate finesse fishing, like throwing a drop shot or a shaky head. If I have to, I'll do it. If I don't have to, I don't want to do it. It's one of those things I don't like doing. With that being said, here's my drop shot rod. It's actually a Skeet Reese Wright McGill rods. I've become really fond of these rods. I don't know, like Skeet's not like Skeet, he's not my favorite, professional angler, but he's one of my favorite ones. Not, and I just love the rods. They give really good sensitivity. I think I've got several of these rods. This one here is a 610 medium fast, and I got this peeled with a Cardinal reel. I believe it's, Abu Garcia Cardinal reel. Like, I've had this reel for years. This used to be one of my panfish reels, but I just converted it into a bass fishing reel, and it's worked. And I got a drop shot tied on here. Those finesse days where you have to have a drop shot. If you're a power fisherman, you know what I'm talking about. You don't want to pick up this belly line, but you have to some days. And I believe it's got 10-pound test line on it. This is one of my, I love this rod. It's really good sensitivity rod. And with me being a big tall guy like I am, I'm 6'4", and a big 6'10" rod, that's no problem with me. Especially you can bomb those drop shots out there if you have to, especially in gin and clear water. Those fish can see you. Yeah, it comes in handy. That drop shot rod is probably the rod that's least amount in my hand. If I pick up any spinning reel, it's most likely going to be this one here. This is my shaky head reel. It's another Skeet Reese rod, and it is a 7-foot rod, fast action rod. This is my shaky head. This is my shaky head reel. It's got a Fluger reel on it. I don't remember when I got this. I think it was a gift to me, or I don't remember when I got this reel, but it's a really good reel for me. I've had no problems for it, and like I said, I got this on a shaky head. This is one I'll have if I pick up a spinning rod. This is the rod that I have in my hand a lot, especially with the lake that I fish quite often. It's so pressured, and this is shaky head, works so well in that lake. And that's, I have another spinning rod that you guys want to see, but I very rarely pull that one out of the box. Very rarely. Alright, here's my other spinning rod I have. I don't remember when I got this one either. It's actually an Abu Garcia rod. And let's get everything tangled up, Randy. That's a good job. Okay. It's actually an Abu Garcia reel and rod. It's another Cardinal reel. I like the Cardinal reels. I've got 2 of those. If I pick up another spinning reel, it might be one of those. It might be a Skeet Reese reel, because I have one of those and a baitcaster of those, and it's really good. But this is the Vigilant rod. Let's see here. It is a 6'6" medium. I've got this one paired with a jerkbait. I like this rod for a jerkbait. It seems like it does really well. It's pretty light, and I can get my smaller jerkbaits out there farther. That's the reason why I got that paired up. This is the one that's the least amount in my hand. Oh, okay. Another little easy rod to have. I actually got this rod on clearance. I don't remember how many years ago, but I remember it was at a Walmart, and they had these rods on clearance, and it's a really good rod. It's a Abu Garcia Ambassador rod, tournament grade, and it is a 7-foot medium, and I've got this just paired with the Abu Garcia Ambassador reel. Don't remember when I got this reel, but it's an older version, and it's a really good reel. I really like it. It's not one of those, those regular reels where it has the button heel. It's on the side, and I really like this. And the neat thing about this reel here is that it's got a drag system where if you just engage the reel backwards, it lets the drag out. And it's really neat, when those fish are out there at the boat or at the bank, and you don't have time to get to your drag, you just pull backwards a little bit, and the drag lets the fish swim off just a tad bit so you can get more control of it. And I just got a small Texas rig on it. It's a really light rod. It used to be my jerkbait rod, but I really like this rod. I've fished with this rod for years. Alright, on to the next. Oh, okay. So, like I said, I have a lot of Skeet Reese Wright McGill rods. Those would be my favorite rods. I believe they're about $100 each for every rod that I've ever got. I picked up, when I went down to the Classic down in Houston this year, they had a rod sale at one of the booths. I think it was the Dick's booth. And I picked up, I believe, like 4 of them when I was down there. 4 or 5. I mean, I really enjoy these rods. They've held up with so many fish I've caught. Before I started doing the YouTube thing, I've gotten some good fish off these rods, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get these. And they're not expensive, you know. They're not as cheap as, you know, the bulk of the rods I have over there, but for a little bit, you know, about $100 rod, they're really good for me. This one here is my jerkbait stick, and it's a 610 medium fast rod. You know, I got that paired with the Abu Garcia Black Max. That's the reel that I was told you that you can pick up at Walmart. It's really cheap. I think it's like $30 or $40. I really like this reel. I got this paired with my jerkbait, of course. It's a really sensitive rod. You know, when you get those jerkbaits going, you gotta have that sensitivity. When you set the way I fish it, you know, you pop and you lose a little bit of slack, I can still feel those fish hit through this rod. Okay, so the next rod that I had is actually my very first Skeet Reese rod I ever picked up. I used to do a lot of spinnerbait fishing, and I still do occasionally, but I picked this rod up, and this is my spinnerbait rod. It's a 7-foot medium fast rod, and I throw a lot of these small finesse spinnerbaits, these 3/16 ounce spinnerbaits, and this rod has so much control in that cast. I do a lot of roll cast, and this rod has so much control in that. This is the Bass Pro Shot Extreme. I don't remember, I think this is the second year they had these. They got these little finger grips there that's built in there, which I thought that was pretty neat. I love this little combo here. I fish this, if I'm fishing around a lot of like bushes or maybe some docks that has, you know, some bait fish around, this is a rod I'll have in my hand a lot. And this rod used to have pretty close to my PB. My PB is 7 now, but a long time, a couple of years ago, it was last year, I caught a 5.5 on this thing, and I boat flipped it, and I didn't realize how big it was, but I boat flipped it, and this rod held up. I didn't even break it. I've had this rod here probably, I want to say 4 or 5 years now. It's held up through a lot, and you notice the yellow is starting to fade on some of my other Skeet Reese rods. You know, they got the black rods here, but the brand new Skeet Reese rods are like this, all completely like, you know, the yellow, and they're really bright, but I've had this one for so long, it's just started fading. But it's a really good rod though. Alright, so I got my last 3 rods here that I have. They're all Skeet Reese rods. And no, I'm not sponsored by Wright McGill. That would be great. So Wright McGill, if you see this video, you want to throw a few rods at my direction, that'd be great. I'll take them. I love your rods. But anyways, this is the second Skeet Reese rod I ever have, and it's my crankbait stick. It's actually a Deep Plus crankbait stick, but I throw a lot of square bills, and this rod's just great for square bill fishing. You know, it might say like for like a deep crankbait. You know how some of your rods are, say like frog rod or jig rod. You know, even this one says like Deep Plus crank. You know, you're thinking deep plugs, like, you know, plugs that go to 10, 20 feet deep. This one works so great with square bills. I can feel every little rock that I hit, every little stump that I brush by. And this rod is actually, well, my numbers is archery off of it, but I believe it was I want to say a 710 medium fast. It's got a really soft tip to it, but I believe that's what it was. I don't remember. My numbers has been rubbed off. Oh, actually no, it's a 711. I see it now. Heavy. I believe it's a heavy fast. Wow, I was completely wrong. I got this one paired with a Shimano. I don't remember when I got this, but this is a 7-to-1. That spinnerbait rod I have, I believe it's a 6-to-1. I forgot to say what reel speed that was, but this reel, it's got a really large line spool, so I'm bombing crankbaits way out there, you know. And I really like this rod. This rod's in my hand quite often. And like I was saying, like the spinnerbait rod, it's really faded away. This one's still pretty yellow, so I haven't had that one for that long. I believe maybe 2-3 years. But it's a really good rod. I've caught some good fish off of it. Oh. Then you get into one of my flipping rods. I have two. I have a small jig rod, and this is my big, heavy, I can't even say it anymore. It's like heavy broomstick rods. And you guys probably don't think I'm crazy, but I flip so much. Like when I started out jig fishing, I love to flip a jig in a bush or buy some rocks or something. But I flipped so much, I decided to go ahead and get me an 8-foot medium fast rod. It's an 8-foot, and it's paired with a Browning reel. I believe this is a 7-to-1, and I got 65-pound braid on this thing. It even says flipping and pitching rod. I love this rod. If you know, fish are on beds, if it's a flipping bite, I will have this rod in my hand. This is one of my favorite rods I have for pitching and flipping. Yes, it is very big. Sometimes I don't bring it out because, like, you know, you go out for a quick trip, you don't know if they're, you know, if they're in the bushes or if they're, like, you know, on the run chasing crankbaits or something like that. So, like, I don't bring this one out as often as I used to when I'm fishing. But man, this spring, hopefully I can catch some in the bushes, especially on beds. I'm taking this rod with me a lot this spring. Hopefully I can get some big ones off this. And it's, you know, it's pretty heavy. It's like not as heavy as you think it is for an 8-foot rod. It's really not. I mean, after a while it starts getting on you, but I spent 3 or 4 hours flipping with this rod, and it's not that bad. What makes it bad is the bait size. A lot of times, you know, this is an ounce jig, but a lot of times I'm throwing a 1/2 ounce, and it doesn't really bother me. But this is a good rod. If you love to pitch and flip, this is the rod to have. And then you get into my favorite rod, which this rod would be in my hand quite often. This is my rod I love to have in my hand, even when I'm just not like this is a good all-around rod. I picked this one up down in the Classic. This is a Skeet Reese rod, of course, and it's a jig, my jig and worm rod, and it's a 7/4 fast rod. And I have this rod all the time in my hand. I've got it actually paired with the Skeet Reese reel. It's a Wright McGill Skeet Reese reel, and it's, I believe, a 6 3-to-1 reel. Got it paired with a 50-pound test braid, and of course I got my jig on it because I love to fish a jig. That's my favorite thing to do. But this is actually a really good rod to have, like, for anything, you know, spinnerbait, crankbaits. So a lot of times if I'm just trying to pack as light as I can, I'll take this reel and maybe one of my extreme reels over there and take, you know, some crankbaits and stuff like that, because this rod can hold anything. It's a really good all-around rod, and for everything that on this rod right here besides the jig, I believe it was $150 around that. I bought them on sale while I was on Classic. Another thing, look for rods that's on sale. Even though they, you know, they could be cheap price, but they could be your favorite rod. And it's kind of what happened with me and these Skeet Reese rods. They turned into my favorite rod. I caught one on sale, tried it out, and they started turning into my favorite rod. So yeah, this rod's a really good all-around rod. I'll have it a lot. I love it a lot. And actually, you know, when I bought this reel, it came with, you know, a reel cover, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, this is one of my favorite rods. You guys will probably see a lot of my videos with this rod and reel in my hand. You know, I catch a lot of fish from jigs, so what can I say? But I hope you guys ended up liking this video. I know it's not the most entertaining video. I really did have planned on going fishing today, but as you can see in the little clip that I showed you guys, it is not a good day for bass fishing at all, you know. Especially if you're gonna go to a new lake that was like almost an hour and a half away, and I was gonna have to drive there. I did not want to have to drive through icy conditions and, you know, risk my life to go catch a fish in the ice. And, you know, so yeah. Anyways, I'm here rambling on. Hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. I will have Wright and McGill's link down in the description. I'll have the bulky rods down in the description. I don't remember if I can find all the rods, but I'll try to have most of them down in the descriptions. And be on the lookout. I've got another video coming up. Like I said, I'm gonna do a unboxing with a Lucky Tackle Box. I don't know if I'll post that one today or if I can get this one edited in time. But be on the lookout for more videos, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Remember, have some fun and catch some fish.